This Friday marks 100 years since the Armenian Genocide.
And while the world is marking the centennial, it's also very personal for one East Bay woman. KTVU's Gasia Mikaelian is here now with her story.
Julie and Frank, there have been many events honoring the 1.5 million lives lost, but one woman in Alameda is paying tribute to her father who survived the genocide. Before she could tell his story, though, she needed to unlock the secrets written on the back of his photographs.
This is my mom and dad on their wedding day.
This photo captures a young couple on a very happy day, so unlike the years of tragedy and horror they lived through during the Armenian genocide.
Genocide connotates a total destruction, and that's what they did.
The groom is SARKISIan CHESNUT's father and the subject of her book, Deli Sarkis, The Scars He Carried. Even as a little girl, she remembers her father telling her about the Armenian genocide and how, as a young Armenian boy, he was forced from his home in Karamet, Turkey.
We were put in cattle cars, and that's how we were sent to the area here.
Sarkis ended up in Syria.
Our women were in a state of panic, and they were handing their babies to Arab and Kurdish women to save them.
1.5 million Armenians were killed, many more driven from their homeland at the hands of the Ottoman Empire. Death marches, starvation, rape, robbery, and massacre. Turkey to this day denies the killings constitute genocide, saying there was no organized campaign to wipe out Armenians. But as a 10-year-old boy in 1915, Sarkis was a witness and survivor.
So many of our men and boys died, and then the girls were taken. This was a very bad episode for him to remember.
She had his story, but after his death in 1995, she was left with photographs with Armenian writing on the back, writing she couldn't read.
I needed to unlock the mystery of who these people were, what was said, what were they saying, and what were the emotions of their message.
She turned to a professor who teaches Armenian at UC Berkeley, who translated the writing for CHESNUT. At last, she knew.
You probably know this man. You had the good fortune of living with him for a long time. Let's see if you remember.
With the secrets unlocked, she began to write her father's story.
Now they're not just shadows on a piece of paper, but they're real people.
So thankful that others were taught and are continuing to teach the Western Armenian dialect, which she heard as a child.
How old are you here?
I'm about 5.
But was never encouraged to speak.
They spoke to us in Armenian and we would answer them in English. Can you believe it?
CHESNUT says before 1915, some 7 million people spoke Western Armenian. Now, just 1 million.
It's just a gift to know the Armenian language.
As the world pauses on April 24th to mark the Armenian genocide, CHESNUT says she is grateful to be able to tell her father's story and keep his memory alive.
When CHESNUT was growing up in San Francisco, the focus was on assimilation. But she says now she is so proud of today's generation, learning their language and heritage and keeping their ancestors' stories alive. In Frank and Julie's small world here, we always joke about how tight Armenians are. The professor at Cal CHESNUT reached out to was my mom.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
my mom's been teaching Armenian at Cal for about 10 years now.
Oh my gosh.
And what a gift she provides for that woman to be able to tell her what those notes said that were piled away for so many years, and then hear from her father.
How does your mom feel about being able to do that?
Oh, it's her life's work. I mean, she taught me and my 3 siblings, she and my dad, Armenian. It was our first language. And so for my mom to be able to teach at a place like Cal, the students who are so willing and eager to learn, and then to get requests like this from Ellen, it's just, like I said, it's her life's work. Yeah, it's a gift.
That's a nice story.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gasia.
Thank you.